All right, recording has begun. So, as I said before, I always like to start off by showing something. So let me go ahead and share my screen here. All right, let me know when you can see it.
I am able to view it.
Awesome. All right, so what I thought I would show off is this tool called the coordinate transformation something or other. I don't know what it's called. But here I've got this drawing. It's in one coordinate system, and I need to convert it to a different coordinate system. So this particular one, so I've got here is I've just got a layout, and I've got the outline of it in paper space, just so we can have a reference. And then in model space, I'm gonna go ahead and turn on you can see the GeoMap is on, and this lines up perfectly with the reservoir that we've got surveyed here. But it's in the wrong coordinate system. I need it in a different coordinate system. So let me go ahead and turn the GeoMap off. So I like to use my keyboard. You can go to the geolocation tab and change it there, wherever. Let's go ahead and take a look at the coordinate system. So as you can see, this drawing has a coordinate system assigned to it. This is the current coordinate system for this drawing. But I need it to be in the north zone, not the statewide zone. So under your toolbox, under miscellaneous utilities, there's the drawing transformations tool. Now, if you don't see this on your system, you need to install it. You can go download it from the manage.autodesk.com, talk to your IT department or your CAD manager or whoever it is that you get downloads from Autodesk. It's just an add-on tool, install it. Real quick download, easy to do. And I'm going to do a coordinate system transformation. So I'm going to go ahead and right click on this, and I will execute it. It's going to pop up a little dialog box. This is a little finicky. So one thing I have found, I love typing in coordinate systems. I found that if you click within this coordinate system code, it does not like it. So I'm not going to do it here. But I'm just going to use this pull down here. You would choose the correct category and then the coordinate system. So I want this to go to the north zone, US foot. All right, so that's where it's going now. I'll go ahead and select OK. Oh, there are some options. So if you want to take a look at the options, you can bind and explode XREFs. You can do Gogo points, et cetera, et cetera. I'm just going to hit OK here, and I'm going to transform the model. And when I do this, what you'll notice is the model will kind of rotate just a smidge. Right, and oh, there, did you see it? It rotated just a smidge, and it looks a little different. It gives you a nice little report here showing you what it did, if anything failed, if anything was skipped. So it did almost 1,700 points, a circle, 12,000, almost 13,000 lines, et cetera, et cetera. Right. And here it is. So now if I turn my GeoMap, let's first take a look at the coordinate system now. Right, so as you can see, it used to be in the KY83F, now it's in KY83-NF. So this is the coordinate system I wanted it to go to. And if I turn on the GeoMap, set that to hybrid, you'll be able to see that. You'll be able to see that picture. Why is it way up here? I don't know why it does this, but what I found, if I zoom back in on here, if you remove the coordinate system, so if I go back into the drawing settings, right, and I set this to none, so I'm just going to put a period in there. So I'm actually sorry, that's not how I want to do it. If you go to the geolocation tab up on the ribbon, and then remove location, yes, and then reassign that coordinate system. So that would be KY83 oops, not typing in there. Try that again. KY83-NF. Select OK. And then turn the GeoMap on. You see it is now lined up again. Now remember what I said, I created that layout tab just so we could see where it was. And you'll notice there's some stuff that's left over. All right, so this is where it originally was. So it doesn't do anything to the viewport. So you have to manually rely on the viewports. But I struggled with this for a while. And I noticed there's these blocks in here. So if I double click in here, it's a block, right? It's a block. And it said it did all the blocks, but why are well, this isn't really the block. This is the attributes of the block. So you have to do the attribute sync. So ATT SNYC. I'll select that block. Yes, I want to sync it, and it moves them all back. So now these blocks have those attributes next to it again. So it's one thing that I did discover. There are some other things that doesn't seem to get. All right, so if I come back over here, there's some things in here that I don't know. Those. Yeah, there's some things that, like it tried to do it. Maybe it's a regen all. No. So there's some weird things that are still kind of left over. I can't seem to select them. Don't know what's going on with those. But if I zoom extents, oops. If I zoom extents here, you can see it doesn't find those, but here we are. So that's the coordinate check. And this is supposed to work on Civil 3D objects as well. This particular drawing is just CAD, AutoCAD stuff. I haven't tried it on a drawing with Civil 3D stuff in it yet, but I thought I would point this out, see what y'all think. Is anybody giving this a try? Anybody have any experience with this?
One of the questions is
do I have two viewports? Ooh, that's a good question, sir. I might have two viewports. I doubt it. No, just one viewport. So yeah, like I said, this line was drawn in paper space. So that's why when I'm in here and I'm zooming in, that other one's not, because that outline was in paper space.
Is this only for 2024?
Could be, but I can't even select them. Oh, now I can select them. That was weird. But I don't know why I can't. They don't show up when I do a zoom extent here. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on. I draw a circle here. I'm going to the wrong tab. And so there's that circle. Where'd it go? There it is. I just see the circle. So there's something, maybe it's a leftover of the viewport. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with that, but it's definitely interesting. So this tool is here. Play with it, see what you think. Hopefully it'll work for y'all.
There was a question if it was 2024 or not, only, or is it 2024?
So yeah, there you go. Okay. So I don't know if you've noticed or not, but Brian Mackey is not with us today. He decided he has to get some work done or something crazy like that. Yeah, Robert, it could be an annotation scale type of a thing. I'm not sure. Let's check it out.
What if you recreate the viewport?
Maybe it was an annotation scaling thing. Something to think about. So let's see if I come over here. Everything is being displayed. So again, I'm not sure, but it looks like that text has got moved. It's just a remnant of the viewport, perhaps. Not exactly sure. All right, let's see. Let's go take a panel reset. See if that does anything. I cannot hear the other Brian.
Yeah, I've only been talking for a few minutes, and mostly I don't have a problem.
The other Brian talking to me?
Oh yeah, Brian's talking big time. Oh yeah.
All right, let's see if I can figure out why I can't hear Brian.
That's kind of weird.
I think y'all can hear Brian. It's just not me.
I'm sure he'll probably regret when he can't hear me.
Let's see.
I don't want to continuously talk.
Over there.
How about now?
Audio. Yeah, very interesting. Okay, say something now, Brian.
How about now?
No, it's still not working. All right, let me try training headsets. Be right back.
No, and I'm not yelling, everybody, but that's okay. I wonder if he can hear me now. Nope. No, I guess he can't. This is great.
Hey, I can hear you.
You can hear me? Okay, cool.
I can. Yay. I was wondering why you're being so quiet.
Yeah. Well, one of the questions I had was, maybe, recreate the viewport, see if it, comes through like that. Maybe there's a, issue with the viewport. And also somebody asked if it was, 2023, would it work in 2023 or is this only in 2024?
That's a great question. I'm not sure. I have 2024 here. Go take a look. That's a really good question to see. We'll go to products and services. Civil. View details. And I think this is a extension of the plugin. 2024. So it shows up. Product transformation tool for 2024. So it's an extension. Let's see if there's one for 2023. Looks like it might just be 2024 though.
Wonderful.
Oh, there it is. Product transformation tool for 2023. So it is available for 23. What about 22? Product transformation tool for 2022.0.1. 2022 is trash anyways.
Yikes.
So yeah, it looks like it's available back to 2022.0.1. It's available for 25 yet. It is not available for 25 yet. I don't know why they released the program and don't have everything ready for it. That's been crazy. It's like, here's the program, but you can't use it yet because all our stuff isn't available.
Hence why we like to wait a few months before actually, pushing it out.
Exactly. Let everything else get caught up with it. It's still in that, it's in the public beta right now. All right, so yeah, that's what I wanted to show off. I figured we could go to some questions now. So Sheldon asked about 2023, so we got that one answered. Do labels reset positions? I don't know. Like I said, this is strictly AutoCAD stuff in here, so I don't have any Civil 3D stuff in this. So as far as Civil 3D labels go, I don't know. So that's something you would have to, you make sure you want to vet that yourself prior to accepting the results. See, Jennifer asked, does the transformation only do the drawing objects or will it transform the survey database points as well at the same time? Let's take a look. So if I come over here to the toolbox, when I run this, there are options, and I thought there were some options with survey points, but I'm not positive. So if you go into the options, move locked COGO points and then copy survey data points and figures. So this would indicate to me that it does not move the survey data points, but makes a copy of them. But again, that would be something you would have to double check with your data. So do it in a test environment before you do it on an actual project.
Yeah. There was a.
Just to make sure, are you still with me, Brian?
Huh?
Okay, good.
Yeah, I can still hear it. Yeah, Sean was asking, about geotechnical modeler. I don't think I've ever used that. And then we have a first question about metric in Civil 3D, but I don't even want to go there on that one.
Yeah, that's quite the question. I was gonna try to get some of the questions that were dealing with what I was showing here off first, but so
Yeah.
I'm not ignoring you, Greg. I'm just ignoring your question.
Gotcha, yeah. Yeah, I guess the big question would be does it move the Civil 3D entities, all the labels that go along with it? If you had fixed station and offset to an alignment, would that change with it? How
That's a great question, and those I don't have answers for yet. Somebody had asked me to help them do this on this project this morning, so I was fiddling around with it, and I thought, hey, this might be fun to show off today. So
yeah.
I haven't fully tested it with the Civil 3D stuff. I did try it in one drawing with Civil 3D and it failed miserably, but I think the reason it failed is because when I ran it, rather than selecting that coordinate zone out of the list, I actually picked in this box to try to put something in there. And as soon as I typed it, I got this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's why I was saying don't put it in here because it doesn't like that. So I'm thinking that might have been one of the reasons why it failed. I mean, it did nothing at all. So that's why I came over to this drawing to test it on it. Yeah. So geotechnical model. Let's see. Let's go to yeah, Civil 3D.
I don't believe I've ever used that.
Geotechnical model installed. Can't remember. Thought I had it installed, but maybe I don't. So we haven't used the geotechnical modeler much here at GEI. We are going to, was it Open Ground? No. So whatever the MicroStation geotechnical modeler thing is that they're having a, you know, that they're moving to, we are moving to that. Basically the geotechnical modeler, I thought I had that installed. Give me a second. Don't have it installed. Interesting. Because nobody was using it. That's why. Do I have 2023? Gotta have it in 2023. It's on my ribbon in the other profile. Hey, look, there it is. Okay, so basically what this does is it allows you to manage borehole information. So you can come over here, manage your data. All right, you can select a project. As you can see, I've got several, delete these in here. And then you can import files. Now, it seems to be very finicky. It requires the files to be in just the right format. Right, so you can do a GINT CSV, AGS CSV, and this is basically the way I've done it is import CSV. I created a thing here. Let me see if I can find it. I think this is where I put it. Yeah. All right, so I found a video on this, and basically what you need to do is you need to have a locations detail CSV file, a locate and a field geological, and the files have to be named exactly this, same capitalization and everything. And basically what you have is you have your borehole information. So borehole 1, location type is a BH, whatever that is. It's not a Brian Haley, and the northern easting and what the ground level is. And then you have the field geological description. So for borehole 1 at the top depth, from this top down 0.5, it's using a code TS, which is the topsoil. And then from 0.5 to 5, it's SP, which is sand, and then 5 to 23 is et cetera, et cetera. And so, and then you have the orientation. So it could be either going straight up and straight down, or it could be angled. And so you have the degree of the angle, and then which direction on the compass is it pointing. And then, so this one is optional. You don't have to have the orientation. So if all of your boreholes are straight up and down, you don't have to worry about it. All right. But then see if I can use this data. Let me. That's 2023. Let's create a new drawing here. It's been a really long time since I played around with this. So if I go to that one, And then I can do 2D stick loss, which brings all points. Yeah, so as you can see, it's been a really long time since I played around with this. Add boreholes to drawing. There we go. Still 2023 trying to launch. And so now you can see I've got my boreholes in here. Right there, they're Civil 3D Kogo points. And then once I do that, I can do like the 2D stick logs. I create the 2D stick logs. So it shows the materials. Let's try to change this here a little bit. These stick logs, let's go ahead and erase them and then create them again. There we go. That's a little better. Right, so you can see the materials, the depths for each of these. And then you can create surfaces for each one of those. You can throw them in 3D. So I can do 3D boreholes. And then that way, if I pull this off into a 3D view, should have 3D boreholes there. And then I can also create surfaces for them. Oh, that's right, that's profiles. I'll create the surfaces. Stratum surfaces. Oh, come on. Eventually I'll get this. So what do you want to do? So I'll just go ahead and do them all. Should then just select all, close that. Oh, sorry. Select all, build surfaces. And I should have surfaces for each one, but apparently something went wrong. That's lovely. Let's try that again. Oh, there was an option. What was it? Build them with no lensings. So that's where we'll build the surfaces. Something about the lensing. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with that. Did that work there? So that didn't work very good, did it? But anyways, that's kind of the idea. You can go into the Hatch style editor and change how you want things to look. You can export things out, create profiles and stratum the surface displays, say, hey, this is how I want them all to display, etc. It's not something I'm super knowledgeable on. I'm just familiar with it. So hopefully that helps. Thanks for bringing up a topic I don't know very much about. Actually, I love it when people do that because I think it's cool. Gives me a challenge. Let's see, do we have any surfaces in there? Yeah, so we've got all the surfaces here. What are these set to? Yeah, so we've got the surfaces in here. They're just set to a style that really wasn't displaying much. So if I do the same thing for this one, then change that to so we got the two surfaces that were created from those blinds. So there you go. So hopefully that helps. You still there, Brian? Or you just
I
quiet?
am.
Okay. Well, I want to make sure I didn't lose you again. That would have been.
Nope, no, I'm good. I'm just watching and that's kind of nice, but it's unfortunate everything has to be precisely, I mean, doing it for multiple projects, that may be a little more problematic because it's got to have the exact same naming nomenclature and such, but I guess if you keep it in folderization, everything should be fine.
Right. Yeah. And this isn't something I've ever used practically. I showed it off to one of our offices to see if they wanted to use it. I don't know if it is something they ever actually ended up using. So take it for what it's worth.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
All
Could be
right.
helpful. Yeah. All right, so All right, so we got a couple of questions. They kind of diverse here.
Okay,
One of them, of course, the top one is Civil 3D utilizing metrics. Utilizing metric.
yeah. Okay, so let me just go ahead and read this out this is from Greg. Do you know of a resource for helping us Americans understand using Civil 3D in metric? I am confused and so are my coworkers. The company I work for has been using Civil 3D for only 4 years now. Wow, late adopters. And we finally have our first metric project. The project is in metric, but we will be using a 24 by 36 inch title block, which throws in another area of confusion. I'm not understanding the scaling issues for viewports and paper space. The title block is scaled up by 1,000. That seems odd, but I'm trying to keep in mind that paper space has to be millimeters. So I have actually been going through this very same thing, Greg, and it is a pain in the ass. Why can't we all just be on the metric system? Oh my God, it'd make my life so much easier. But no, we have to be different than the rest of the world. Okay. So let me go ahead and I'm going to start a new drawing here. And I'm going to bring in a title block that I've got set up for the metric system. And we'll use that as our talking point here. All right, so I'll bring in this metric one. So this is a 34 by 22 title block. It is in millimeters though. So if you're starting to get used to civil or imperial to metric, the best number to remember is 25.4. There's 25.4 millimeters in an inch, like exactly. So if you bring your title block in, scale it up by 25.4, you're good to go. So if I measure the distance along the top here, right, you can see that's 863.6. Take that divided by 25.4, and you get 34. So as we use 22 by 34 pages here. So you want to make sure that it is truly in millimeters. Otherwise, your scales won't work. Once it's in millimeters, or once your page is in millimeters, you would use your metric scales. And let me go ahead and set this up for use with metric. So this is just a tool that I've created to help us set drawings up to use different units and whatnots. Right. So here are your scales, right? So the nice thing about the metric is just 1 to 40, right? So 1 inch on your paper is 40 inches in the real world. You know, 1 inch on your paper is 150 inch, or 1 millimeter is 100, or, you know, 1 decimeter is 150 decimeters in the real. So it's just a straight ratio. There's no inches to feet or fractional inches or any of that garbage. It's just straight ratio. Now,
right, but that's
the problem is,
isn't that like 1 meter or 1 millimeter is per meter?
No,
Not 1 meter is 2
no,
something.
no, it's 1 to 150. So if I were to measure something on my piece of paper that is 1 millimeter long, in the real world, it's 150 millimeters long.
There we go. So there
Okay.
is a conversion. Yeah, gotcha.
Right, but it's just 1 to 150. So
Yep.
1 millimeter transfers to 150 millimeters. Right? So it's just a factor of 100. However, the wrench that gets thrown in here is my paper is in millimeters, but my model is in meters. Right? So if I go take a look at my scales here, so I'll come down here to my custom scales and we'll just pick one. So 1 to 30, you'll see 1 paper millimeter is equal to 0.03 drawing meters, which is the same thing as 1 to 30. Right? This would be the same thing as saying 0.03 drawing paper meters is 1 drawing meter is you get that. It's the same. You just have to scale it down by 1,000 because my paper is in millimeters, whereas my drawing is in meters. Now, if my drawing was in millimeters, so again, this is just a routine that we have to help set up our stuff. This will bring in the scales for a drawing that's done in millimeters. So if you're doing something structural, And all this did was it brought in my scales for me. So if I come down to my custom scales here and I choose the same one, you can see 1 paper millimeter equals 30 drawing millimeters. Because in this case, this drawing is now set up so that the drawing unit is the millimeter. Okay, so hopefully that helps make sense with that. The key here is this is in millimeters. My page is in millimeters. And then whatever unit my drawing is in, that's what I have to adjust my scales to represent. All right, does that make sense so far? Great. You can just like give me a thumbs up in the chat, or Tina, I'm getting there. Don't worry. All right. Okay. So the next problem we run into is with text. So if our standard at GEI is a text height of 0.12 inches. Now, when I'm working in a metric drawing, I still want it to be 0.12 inches on my piece of paper. All right, so if I come in here, let's see, so we'll set this to, let me come over here to the model space. I'm going to set this back up so it's an imperial drawing. Go with feet, we'll go 1 inch equals 30 feet here. And I'll create a piece of text. All right, let's see. Yeah. So if I measure this distance, just doing a quick distance, right? You can see that's 0.12 times, 30. It's about 3.6, which is what it should be, right? So that is the correct height. Now the problem is if I come over here to my layout tab, and I set this to a scale. So this is an annotative object. So I'm going to turn my automatic scaling on. We'll set this back to a metric drawing. Let's use meters in this case. Remember, my page is scaled up by a factor of 25.4. So when I set a scale to this is annotated, so it's automatically going to get that assigned to it. And it's just tiny. It's in here somewhere. There it is. And if I zoom in on that and I measure the height of it, you see it's 0.12 millimeters. That should be 0.12 inches. So what that means is all of your text, all of your annotations need to be scaled up by a factor of 25.4. So if I scale this by 25.4, that's now the correct size for this page. So you have to adjust your text heights for this as well. The other thing to keep in mind is your line types are now off by a factor of 25.4. So I have these grid lines in here. They're kind of hard to see. They're on a locked layer, and they're basically just to help you organize things on the sheet. They don't plot, they're locked, right? But you can see that they're tiny. The line, now they're right. So you can see these line types are good, but if my drawing was, if I were to do the same thing for an imperial size page, I'll bring in an imperial title block. Do a regen all, you can see those line types don't show up at all because they're huge. Now, if I set these line types up so that they work for an imperial drawing, which is what I'm doing right now. Trust me, I've been working on this for a long time now. Tina knows my pain. Tina's one of my coworkers. She's in Canada. She knows metric. All right, now you can see those line types look good in this sheet, but if I go back to my metric sheet, now the line types are just tiny, tiny, tiny little dashes. And so what I did is in this drawing setup routine, right? This is, like I said, this is a tool that I created for GEI. So this is not out of the box Civil 3D. Basically what this does, if the drawing unit is set to meters or millimeters, it will load in the metric line types into the drawing. If it's in feet, survey, feet, or inches, then it'll load in the imperial line types. So if I set this to meters, I select OK. And so I had to duplicate all of our line types, which was not fun. And then I do a regen all. You can see the grid now looks good for a metric drawing. but an imperial drawing looks like crap. I go through the drawing setup again, and I set this up for an imperial drawing. Once again. Do a regen all, and now the imperial looks good, but the metric looks like crap. So that's another hurdle that you have to overcome when you're working for projects that work with imperial and metric. An alternative would be have a template that you just use that's just metric, and another one that's just imperial. And that might be a better way to go about it, but this seems to be working well so far. I'm going to be heading up to our Canadian offices next week, and we'll see how it goes. Should be fun times.
Yeah, and Brian and Greg, I too have also used where we take the LT scale and set it to 25.4, and yeah, there's definitely ways to work around it, but none of them are going to be fun. It's
Right.
it's really best to set up two separate templates and stick to those.
Right. And that comes into play with all of your label styles.
Yep. And
Right, so if I go to surface label style, go into contour one, all your text heights need to be fixed.
yep.
Right, 0.12 inches, right? That needs to be scaled up by a factor of 25.4. And you need to do that for every single one.
Now, Brian, can you do something for me? Can
Mhm.
you cancel right here, go into your settings of the drawing and change, go right there, go to edit drawing settings or drawing setup and change the drawing units there from feet to meters. Yeah. Now go to your label styles. It's nice that it converts them, but it doesn't, it converts them by 25.4. It doesn't do them by like 25. So, in America, we change those to 3 millimeters, not 3.05. Your 0.1 is now 25.4 instead of, or 2.54 instead of 2.5. But that's kind of a way to at least start, and you can drag those, but that way it converts them for you automatically.
There you go.
So you can take your existing template, use the metric within that drawing setup, and then you can start dragging them into your freshly made metric. At least you would have the styles with the particular naming and with the labeling methodology already preset.
That's great. Love it. All right. Any other questions on metric imperial? Anything else you think we should add to? You're feeling this pain too.
Yeah. What is it? 2 countries out of the entire globe uses imperial, and then the rest of them use metric.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Not my fault the rest of the world is behind. I just want to go to metric, please, can we? All right, what else we got, Brian?
We've got somebody asking about DST and when opening a sheet set drawing. Sometimes we get an event viewer message that the DST was not found in the absolute path. What do I need to do to change or limit this message? And they put in, parentheses, useless message, but I'm not sure.
I'm not familiar with this one.
I don't think I've seen the DST file. I don't think I've ever seen that message before.
Yeah, I don't think I have either.
Now they are specifying it as 2024, which I do know the DSTs now open up. If you've got sheet set detect mode set to 1, it'll open up the web-based sheet set manager. SSM detect mode, sorry.
All right, I can find
There it is. So if you got that turned off, it brings up your old sheet set, the original sheet set manager. But if you've got it turned on and you open up a sheet set manager, it's going to bring up the web-based sheet set manager.
Only if it's saved in the web, right?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe you're correct. If it's saved in ACC, I haven't tried it with a non-ACC one.
So if I go to my sheet set manager, so this is the old sheet set. Right, and then the auto detector's on because this drawing is not associated with the cloud at all. And
Right, but even if you go to, yeah, if you go to open it, let's see what would happen if you just opened one.
You said it was the event viewer.
Yeah.
No, there's nothing in here for about sheet set. So I'm not sure why you're getting that, Robert. That's not something I'm familiar with.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen it either.
Yeah.
DST
Sorry,
is found in absolute, yeah.
not sure.
Sorry, Robert, if you
Alright.
got a screen capture or something, that would be great too.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here. Greg's all wanting one of our templates. I don't have a template yet. I've been avoiding the templates for metrics in a long time. Sorry, Greg. Yeah, pain.
Yeah. So for those of you that are watching the chat, Greg has been responding in the Q&A panel, which is fine. He says, you know, being in my head, trying to understand, this is going to take a while. Thank you for the explanation. Yeah, it does take a while. Can you have one of my templates? I don't think the company would like that.
Yeah.
Sorry. But it's just something you got to do.
Have you signed an NDA?
Civil 3D does come with a template.
That they do.
All right, so if you go to, or is it C program files, no,
I think it's roaming.
users,
Yeah, users, Brian Haley.
and then it's app data.
I think-
Local
yep.
or roaming?
Is it local or roaming? I can never remember.
I can't either. I think it's roaming. We'll go to Civil 3D 2024 and it is roaming.
Yeah.
So Civil 3D does come with a metric template. So
Yep.
if nothing else, you can start with that. Right. So if your current template is very much out of the box, then there's another out of the box that's metric.
Yep.
So. All right. What else we got, Brian?
Actually, I'm not seeing much more. They were talking about the Civil 3D point labels. They were checking that. That was for the translator. And then thoughts for usefulness on the geotechnical modeler, but I think we covered that.
Usefulness on the geotech modeler. So we aren't using it. We're going with the Bentley program, but I still can't remember the name of it. Geotechnical. Have a name. Access. Open ground. So that's what we're going with. I'm not familiar with it. My understanding, it does have the ability to communicate with Civil 3D, so we can bring things in from Civil bring that stuff into Civil 3D. But again, it's not something that I've gotten a chance to use yet.
Gotcha.
Sean had
Okay.
a question.
Yeah.
Sean, could you retype your question into the Q&A for us, please? I
Yeah.
would appreciate it. Somebody must have gotten itchy with the deletes, and that was probably me.
They were asking actually if we could model a vehicle that's not part of the vehicle tracking software library. We could go through a detailed example.
Sean, you typed out your question about vehicle tracking in the chat,
Yeah.
not in the Q&A. That's why we didn't see it. Ah,
So close. At a 50-50 chance.
Okay, yeah, that's a great one. So vehicle tracking. So vehicle tracking comes with Civil 3D. I've got it up here somewhere. Where's my vehicle tracking? I don't see my vehicle tracking. I know I've got it here. Let's try this. Yeah, we'll try. There we go. All right, so if you come over here to, where is it? One of these. Is it this one?
Yep.
Vehicle Library Explorer. So I'm going to go into the Vehicle Library Explorer here. And you can create your own libraries here. So you can create, I don't know, like a library for civil check. All right. And so you can create your own stuff. And apparently I've already done this before. Now you can't edit any of the vehicles in any of the stuff that comes with Civil 3D, right? You just can't. You can make a copy of it and edit it.
Yep.
But down here at the bottom, you'll see there's a pool. So I'm in the, let's save this drawing.
Creates that pool in that drawing.
It's vehicle tracking.
So basically it treats it like a block within the drawing and it holds that data within that drawing. So you can
Right.
actually send that to somebody else and then they would have that pool in that drawing if they had vehicle tracking.
Exactly. But sometimes you might, maybe you work for a company like, I don't know, Vestas, who makes windmill, wind turbine blades, right?
There you
And
go.
you
Yeah.
have very unique vehicles to transport these things around the country. So you can create your own library and put those in there, and then you can share that with the rest of the company. Right? But I'm not going to get into that right now. But we want to talk about creating our own. So what I would do is I would start off with finding something that's similar to what you want. All right, so let's see. Let's do worldwide vehicles. We'll do some construction vehicles. How about an articulated dump truck? And we'll use this one.
Now,
I'll go with
if
that
you
one
don't
now.
know what if you don't know what you're looking for, up at the top is a little search button that if you wanted a fire truck, you could just type in fire and it will.
Or a low boy.
Oh yeah. Oh, low boy. Yeah, exactly. And it'll start giving you your categories.
There we go.
Oh yeah,
Right.
big guy.
So you can even have it so that the rear axles steer as well. It's fun stuff, right? So let's see. Let's do a dump. All right, go back to that dump truck. All right.
There you go.
So I'll go ahead and select that. Select OK. Did it copy it? So you
don't
notice
think so.
there's still nothing in this drawing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to edit a copy of it.
Yep.
And as soon as I do that, you'll notice it now has copied it down into my drawing. And this I can make changes to. This up here I can't.
Yep.
And you just walk your way through the vehicle wizard.
Yep.
So give it a name. So this will be the Civil Chat Dump Truck. This will come from Brian's mind. It's the source of the data, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you just walk your way through it. You can also go into the advanced option here, which gives you a little bit less of a wizard, but more of just a dialog box. So you have the steering, the body outlines, the couplings, the front axles, the units, all this stuff. And you can just walk your way through this and it prompts you for the majority of the information you need.
What's this metric stuff I see here?
What's that?
If you go back one, you got it in metrics. What's going on?
Remember we changed this to metric?
Yep. No. I wanted to point out that it will go to based on the units of the drawing you're in, which also includes inches. So you can have it meters, feet, or inches based on the units of your drawing.
Yeah, so you can just come in here and then start tweaking your settings for how your vehicle is. Right? And then I'm just going to go ahead and finish this. I didn't actually make any changes, but there is now my vehicle. And I should be able to create a new library. We'll call it Brian's Fun Vehicles. If I can see if I'm remembering this correctly.
Yep. And I think you can also export that library so you can send to people as well.
And
Or
then you hit OK to the fatal error.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Civil 3D, for.
Oh, that's because you were in metric. Sorry, I get to have a little fun with metric.
Oh, that's always good. All
Mm.
right, let's try launching this again. But anyways, that's the idea. So you go in, you modify it, you tweak it, and then it's in your drawing, and then you can use it wherever you want. If you want to be able to share it with, like company-wide or send it out to somebody else without sending them a drawing, you can then add it into your own library, and you can then share that library out as well.
And what's also nice is you can export the graphic image there of the dimensions and such of your modeled vehicle and place it in your drawing so you can use it as a little reference guide or give the basic body type criteria within your drawing without actually having to reference anything else. It'll actually tell you it's
Yep.
got that as a graphic.
All right, let's try this again. Tracking, over there. And the copy. Finish that. Right there it is, and then see if I can do this time. So we'll create a new library.
Or do a save library as.
I don't think so. We might. So we'll
Okay.
call this one.
You definitely have
Maybe the
different-
apostrophe.
Yeah,
Fine
ooh, you
as
can think about that.
Fun vehicles.
It's not looking good, Brian. Oh no.
Yeah.
No.
Anyways, that should have worked.
I think it's 2024.
What version are y'all using, Brian?
I'm still on 2023.
In
We're
23?
starting to bring in 2024. I know 2025 just dropped. The people are already asking about it. When to upgrade, when not to, that's a total question. I just see speed increases as we go per version, which is great.
Mhm.
Everything seems to be compatible back and forth.
Yeah, that's kind of my understanding as well. But so hopefully, Sean, that answered your question. For the most part. Don't know why the whole creating the library isn't working.
Yes,
Honestly,
John's
that
all
part
Civil
is not-
3D in a nutshell.
Right. Yeah, so the very first Autodesk University I went to was either in 2007 or 2008. And they had this thing called the Power Track. And I did a class on using grading objects. Yes. in
Oh
fact,
God, poor you.
Right? So this was on the
Uh-huh.
2008 version. And the Power Track had 500 people in it. This is the first time I'd ever even been to AAU, let alone presented. And of course, Civil 3D crashed on me. I was using grading objects. Of course it crashed on me.
Uh-huh.
So, and
Especially
I got a
with that.
nice round of applause for that.
So Tom's posted in the chat a way to actually purge items, which is a good thing as well for vehicle tracking. So it's a help desk type of link.
Oh, nice. Thanks, Tom.
Okay, so we are all
Yeah.
experiencing the definition of insanity, trying the same thing over and over again with
Oh, I'm not trying it again. I just yeah.
So
So,
there's
there's some
your
options up here. I
ability.
don't know why mine's not working, but no.
Yeah, there was the ability to import and export. So you've definitely got,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've never tried to export it out, but there you go. So hopefully that helps that. All right, looks like we're getting close to the top of the hour. Doesn't look like we have any more questions. Anybody else have any thoughts, comments, suggestions? Did anybody submit any classes to AU this year that they're excited they might be able to get? I know I put in a couple for the subassembly composer, so I hope I get those accepted. I haven't presented at AU in quite a few years, so
Yeah.
at least not as a primary.
I'm rather hesitant. I put in a application for Head in the Clouds for the ACC doc workflow.
Oh, okay. Nice.
I did that last year. I was glossed over, so we'll see.
All right, well, I guess with that, we're gonna go ahead and close things off. We're a couple minutes early, but I think that works just well. Thank you all for joining. I will post this up on my YouTube channel, so Civil 3D Plus, just do a search for that or reach out to me. I can tell you where it is. So hopefully we'll see y'all next month, and y'all have a great day. Take care.
All right. Thanks, Brian. Thanks all.